In a valley, an assassin from the righteous heavenly alliance named Chun Hajin was facing a group of armed men. Because he was busy, Chun Hajin ordered the gunmen to attack simultaneously. One of the crowd said that Chun Hajin was too confident for someone who just killed a few of their members. The armed crowd was easily provoked. Chun Hajin felt offended when he heard them say Chun Hajin only killed a few. He couldn't even remember how many he had killed so far. Chun Hajin simply slashed at those who came at him again and again. Two people came to attack Chun Hajin, but Chun Hajin easily sliced their necks and bodies in half. Anyone who got close to Chun Hajin defeated them easily. The gunmen felt overwhelmed by Chun Hajin's strength. Then the person who sounded like the leader of the gunmen ordered them not to let Chun Hajin corner them. He announced that it was time for Chun Hajin to die. Chun Hajin, who heard that, felt angry because they wanted Chun Hajin to die when the freedom he finally got after 30 years was right in front of his eyes. He thought of killing them all if it was for the sake of getting his freedom. In an instant, Chun Hajin swiftly killed those blocking him. Seeing Chun Hajin turning his back on them, the gunmen thought this was their chance and attacked Chun Hajin together. But they were shocked and felt disbelief looking at Chun Hajin, who was standing on their swords after dodging their attacks. Watching Chun Hajin, who easily fought dozens of people, they were now convinced that he was truly one of the top 10 strongest martial arts experts and the best assassin in the world, Assassin King Chun Hajin. With his jumping attack, Chun Hajin finished off the people in front of him. Amidst the mass of corpses, Chun Hajin felt tired. He hoped that his pursuers would finally stop chasing him. But sadly, Chun Hajin's hopes were betrayed. The chasers continued to appear endlessly. Chun Hajin couldn't believe that there was still so much for him to fight, even after he had fought until his sword was dull. Chun Hajin was frustrated. He wondered why they hated him so much when he was free. Chun Hajin took a stance with his sword and ordered all of them not to get in his way, or he would kill them all. Chun Hajin continuously attacked the people who chased him. Chun Hajin finally finished fighting and left the battle area while out of breath. As he walked away from the pile of corpses of his pursuers, he heard a voice in his mind that he had heard a long time ago. The voice said that he might be the best assassin in the world and was called Assassin King, but he was just a hunting dog of the righteous heavenly alliance, a heartless killer demon. Even the afterlife would curse him forever. Long live Chun Hajin and everyone he killed. His life was filled with death. After walking some distance away, I pulled out the tip of the spear that had pierced my stomach. I then vomited blood from taking too much damage. I lived as the dog of those bastards of the righteous heavenly alliance for the rest of my life. Finally, I was free after cutting the restraints they tied to me. Enduring the pain I thought I had to endure. I started running. I'm almost there. A little more, just a little more, and I will arrive at the secret place there. If I consume elixirs and medicine to heal wounds and restore my strength, then I will become a free person. I just need to endure a little more. But I fell because of exhaustion. Before my wounds are treated, I think I will go crazy with hunger. I can't believe I've only eaten a few pieces of beef jerky for the past 7 days. I lie down and stare at the moon that lights up the night sky. I feel so hungry, I feel like eating dumplings. When I was staring at the moon, a figure appeared who came to attack me. I jumped to avoid his attack. Due to the effects of that person's attack, the ground where I was lying split open. I felt pressured because of such a skilled sneaking technique that even the so-called best assassin didn't notice. The man then used his sword aura and charged towards me. But he was surprised because he missed and just cut the trees in front of him. Martial arts prowess is strong enough to cut through a forest with just a sword aura. I believe this person must be the strongest assassin in the center of the southern continent. I told the attacker that I understood why the righteous heavenly alliance was after me, but I didn't expect the elites from Fort Steel Blood to interfere. I asked him if he thought that Murim would recognize someone like him as one of the 10 strongest martial artists if he killed someone who was exhausted from fighting 100 martial artists. In front of the attacker, I said that he would be cut into pieces even if he fought me when I was almost completely exhausted. Hearing that, the attacker felt pressure. We then continued to clash our swords, and in the end, I was the one standing at the top. After sighing that the fight was over, I told the person who was watching to just come out when he finished watching the show. After telling that person to come out, I was surprised to see the secret demon queen appear. Hearing me say his name, he said that it was an honor for him because I still remember him. After 6 years of not seeing each other, we finally met again. At the pile of corpses where Chun Hajin had previously fought, the righteous Heavenly Alliance's first elder, young Ilryong, and his subordinates finally arrived. After checking the pile of corpses that were here, one of young Ilryong's underlings reported that all the corpses in this area were martial experts from the Steel Blood Fortress. Hearing that report, young Ilryong had not expected that Chun Hajin would escape the inescapable formation they had set up and kill so many Steel Blood Fortress martial experts. He praised that Chun Hajin took the nickname of the Assassin King. Jung Ilryong then summoned all of his subordinates and ordered them to follow the death energy of the secret demon queen. He was sure that by following that energy, they would find Chun Hajin's whereabouts. I was really surprised to see the secret demon queen showing herself. The secret demon queen, who was honored that I still remember her, said that it's been a long time since we've seen each other after 6 years. Secret demon queen, Kwak Sokyo. Although he uses rejuvenation techniques to maintain his appearance, he is 60 years old. Judging from his face, I would have thought that he wouldn't even be able to kill a bug. But in fact, he is a sadistic killer who cannot sleep a single night without killing someone. As if the righteous Heavenly Alliance felt it was not enough to send out the best assassins and troops of Steel Blood Fortress, they even involved a mad assassin. They justify any means as long as they can catch me. But I still have one more secret trick. Seeing me pointing my sword at him, Kwak Sokyo said that he was very disappointed that I took out my sword when we had such a special relationship. Hearing what he said, I asked him to stop talking nonsense. Seeing the state of my heavily injured body, Kwak Sokyo said that I wouldn't survive many attacks with my current condition. Kwak Sokyo also suggested an easier way out. I told him to see for himself how many attacks I could withstand. After all, why should I be afraid of a 60-year-old grandmother who only knows how to talk nonsense? Annoyed by what I said, Kwak Sokyo threatened that if I called her grandma one more time, she would take out my spine no matter how much I begged her not to do it. With a mocking tone, I said that he was very scary. He seems to have gotten more sensitive since I last saw him. I once again called her grandma. Kwak Sokyo was furious hearing that, but he suppressed his anger a moment later. I didn't expect that he could contain his anger so quickly. Kwak Sokyo then said that he felt it was true that I was raised by the righteous Heavenly Alliance as their best assassin. He thought it made sense for Steel Blood Fortress to ask this of him. He also said that my energy core is filled with detestable good and pure energy. He was sure that it came from the 9 major sects. Kwak Sokyo felt that this was extraordinary. He knew that they intended to capture Chun Hajin alive, but he wondered how he could kill all those martial artists. Kwak Sokyo was sure that I must have studied the 9 sects of martial arts and their secret abilities. I finally understood why he was stalling and talking nonsense when he usually wanted to spill blood instead of talking. He was curious about finding out the secret martial arts of the 9 sects and secret information regarding the righteous Heavenly Alliance. Because his intentions were exposed, Kwak Sokyo complimented me. He thought I was a stupid assassin who only knew how to kill, but it turns out I can use my brains too. Even so, I'm sure that Kwak Sokyo has no intention of telling this secret to Fortress Steelblood despite knowing about it. Hearing what I said, Kwak Sokyo said that he didn't need a request from Fortress Steelblood or the secrets of the righteous Heavenly Alliance. He only wanted the 9-sect martial arts. He made me an offer to let me live if I told the secrets of the 9 sects of martial arts. Hearing the offer, I chuckled. I don't understand why there is so much disgusting trash in the Great Lakes. After all, it wasn't a fair deal since I was already dying. Knowing what I meant, Kwak Sokyo asked if it was because of the blood parasite. The blood parasite is the end for those who betray the righteous Heavenly Alliance. The blood parasite that is in the body serves to judge the punishment for betrayal. This conversation made me remember someone's words. That person said that I could never leave the righteous heavenly alliance. Regarding the blood parasite, Kwak Sokyo said that I no longer have to worry about the righteous heavenly alliance if I tell about the secret martial arts of the 9 sects or other sects. Kwak Sokyo had studied the demonic arts of the god of death. He also knows about all the poisons. With his demonic art, Kwak Sokyo was confident that he could overcome the blood parasite in my body. Seeing that I looked confused, Kwak Sokyo said that he could free me as long as I pursued his 9-sect martial joints. Hearing the deal he offered, I laughed. Kwak Sokyo looked confused seeing me, who started laughing. I then asked Kwak Sokyo if he thought the only reason the righteous heavenly alliance was after me was that I was running from them. Hearing that, realization started to come to Kwak Sokyo's mind. Of course, since I was also one of the strongest martial artists, I had already learned how to expel the blood parasite 5 years ago. But I have to reach a higher level to escape the inescapable net formation. And it took me quite a while to train that. I thought I almost reached it. Kwak Sokyo would let me live if I told him the 9 sects of martial arts sure sounded stupid. I angrily told him to stop talking nonsense. He thought I didn't know his disgusting nature. 30 years of my life was stolen by the righteous heavenly alliance. I will not be fooled by anyone again. With my anger contained, I ordered Kwak Sokyo to get out of my sight, because if he chose to run now, he could at least keep his loathsome life. Hearing my threat, Kwak Sokyo said that I didn't need to worry about that, because he wasn't a pathetic fool like me. Kwak Sokyo never let anyone who insulted him live. He says, seeing from my eyes, I will not teach that martial art. Because the deal didn't work out, Kwak Sokyo showed his true face and started attacking. Reacting to that, I also charged towards Kwak Sokyo. Our attacks clashed. Due to the impact of our attacks, the space around us was destroyed. The one who won this clash was Kwak Sokyo, who succeeded in injuring my hand. In the middle of our fight, young Il-ryong appeared to interrupt our fight. Seeing his arrival, I was surprised. Because I was caught off guard, young Il-ryong with his sword cut off both of my legs. Following that attack, Kwak Sokyo cut off both of my arms with his claws and stabbed into my stomach. Seeing me helpless, Kwak Sokyo grabbed my head and said it was very interesting since I had lost both my arms and legs. Because of that, he had to take my head off as well, so I could never say anything more. Under the night sky and bathed in that blood-splattered blood, with a happy smile, Kwak Sokyo said to crawl through hell like a parasite. Finally! Is this the horrible moment I saw before my death? Under the moonlight that illuminates even this, I can only ask questions. I just want to live normally, just for a moment, even if it's just a dream. Live like an ordinary human. Why is it so impossible to achieve? In the heavenly demon divine sect's main mausoleum, a corpse was lying there. But the corpse that should have been dead suddenly opened its eyes. In the inner sanctuary of the heavenly demon divine cult, a man knelt to pay respects and welcome the divine cult's 4th young master. The 4th young master just kept quiet and puffed on his pipe. The kneeling man then reported that he had sensed the pulse of the 3rd young master Xior Yang and that he would die tonight. The 4th young master who heard the report smiled, as things went much better than he expected. Seeing me sitting near a pile of scattered corpses, my friend asked me if I had finished my task. I replied that I had killed everyone in this section. Because our task was finished, my friend invited me to rest, but can't rest too long because our leader said we can't be detected. My friend, who had just sat down then, took something out of his pocket. Out of curiosity, I asked what he was holding at the moment. He then handed over the object that was in his hand and showed the bird carving he had made. My friend asked me if I wasn't tired of living as an assassin, because he wants to get out of here by any means necessary. He wanted to live the rest of his life as free as a bird and go to a rural area where he could smell fresh greenery instead of smelling human blood. Hearing my friend's wishes, I said that I wanted to go. I also want to go to a fresh green country area. But my friend said never to think about it. I wanted to go with him, but he insisted on rejecting me. A few days later, I found my friend dying. Worried, I went up to him and asked what was going on. From behind, Our leader came up to me and told my friend that he had saved his life, but he reciprocated his compassion by trying to run away. Chief then warned me to pay close attention because this is the end for everyone who betrays the righteous heavenly alliance. He said that the blood parasite in my body would pass judgment on my betrayal. Hearing her words made me remember what the secret demon queen had done to me. Suddenly, I woke up from my sleep. I don't understand what was a dream just now. I should have just been beheaded by the secret demon queen. I don't know this place at all. This room even looks very luxurious. While I was confused, I felt someone coming. A moment later, a girl named Anghua came and brought food. But seeing that the mattress in the room was empty, the girl was confused about where the young master she was looking for had gone. From behind the flustered girl, I appeared to silence her and threatened to silence her. I then interrogated the girl and asked her who she was and whether she was from Steel Blood Fortress. The girl did not understand what was going on. He said that he was my servant named Anghua. Worried, Anghua asked why I was behaving like this. Hearing Anghua calling me young master, I told him to stop talking nonsense and tell me who brought me here. Anghua was getting confused by what I meant by bringing me here because I had been here for a long time. He told me that I had been unconscious for the past 6 months due to being a victim of chi blockage and only regained consciousness 2 nights ago. When I heard the story, I was even more confused. Feeling enough with his boasting, I told him to stop playing games and tell me the truth. But Anghua insisted, and he said that he was here to bring me simple food so I could eat it when I woke up. I don't understand why he's talking this shit. But when I saw my reflection in the mirror, I was shocked. I didn't recognize the face in front of me at all. I'm sure what happened to Kwak Sokyo wasn't a dream. I don't know if this is reincarnation or my previous life. I don't know where I am right now. Unable to process what had happened, I left the room and saw an unfamiliar sight and 2 men. I don't know who they are. Upon seeing my figure, one of the men knelt down respectfully and congratulated me on my recovery. I was surprised to see the man who was respectful to me. Hearing that man mention the holy teachings, the only divine cult in the Murim is the heavenly demon divine cult. In a throne room, the heavenly demon divine cult's first palace guard named Mudam knelt respectfully before someone who was sitting on the throne. The man sitting on the throne asked what Mudam's purpose was here. Mudam also reported that the 3rd young master had awakened. However, he had lost all of his martial arts prowess due to the overextension. After giving his report, Mudam asked what he wanted to do with the 3rd young master. After hearing the report, the man called Mudam. Just with his voice alone could even make the wind blow violently. Hearing his call, Mudam asked the man to say his will. The man then ordered Mudam not to give any more reports until the closing ceremony, which would occur in 3 months. Receiving the order, Mudam bowed low and sincerely wished his master to achieve great things. The heavenly demon divine cult, which is called the 1,000-year demonic cult, is the oldest and most evil demonic force of this generation. This cult was created several thousand years ago by a Murim master. In terms of martial power, they were the strongest, and just by their existence, the entire Murim world would become restless, as it was a symbol of chaos. In terms of numbers, the Federation of the Righteous Heavenly Alliance and the Steel Blood Fortress outnumbered them. This world summons Righteous Heavenly, Steel Blood, and Heavenly Demon as the strongest triad. Among them, the Heavenly Demons are treated as more dangerous than wars and pandemics, the most evil demonic group. Looking at the scenery around me, I wonder how I got up here. I seem to have truly gotten a second life. But still, why does it have to be a demon cult? Seeing this state made me want to curse the heavens. I have to stay calm. I need to understand the current situation and plan ahead. Night finally came. Me, who was wearing very suspicious clothes, was sneaking on the roof. But I feel like stealth techniques are still too much. When I was on the roof, I saw 2 guards gossiping. They were talking about the strongest among the 7 demon cult disciples. The 3rd young master finally regained his senses. One of the guards sensed that a bloody hierarchical battle was about to begin again. The only guard who heard his friend's words warned him not to get too excited, and finally died. They felt that the 3rd young master's awakening was a miracle, because he woke up after 6 months in a chi blockage state. They heard that the third young master had lost all his martial skills. But if there was still some martial skill left, then, as she was called, she was truly a monstrous demon. Since the monstrous demon had woken up, they were sure he would suck some people dry. They planned to be careful not to agitate third young master and not go around third young master. Hearing the guards gossip, I was surprised to hear that the body's owner was a troublemaker. Hearing his nickname, the Dreadful Demon, made me curious how to live his life. However, I believe this is a demon cult. To escape from here, I need a well-thought-out plan. Even if you only used it for 1 hour, last night's stealth technique was too much. My body felt very tired as a result. Honestly, life is awesome. This extremely weak body was comparable to that of an 80-year-old old man. First of all, I need to recover my body. To see this state of the body, I began to meditate. By seeking the truth amidst chaos, blazing through the void and breaking through the channels of life, giving birth to turbidity with the thought that the world will reward you with good fortune. The temperature in the room started to rise. The air also becomes quite humid. With the boundless technique, I will expel the turbid energy out of my body. In my previous life, by making use of some of the martial arts skills of the 9 sects, I perfected my own martial skill called the boundless technique. As a person without any status, boundless techniques are my lifeline. I finally reached my meditation limit today. With this, I can at least achieve a small goal. However, this place was so quiet that it made me uncomfortable. It's been quite a while since I woke up. Besides the doctor, no one visited me at all. They said that my recovery rate was quite fast. Until they visited again, they asked me to pay attention to myself. Apart from the doctors, there was a little girl who was trembling with fear to bring me food or medicine. The nickname of the owner of this body is called a monstrous demon, so I'm sure that he is a troublemaker with a trash personality. Until I understand this place, I must not act rashly. 3 months finally passed. It's been 3 months since Xiaoyang ate it, but nothing happened. Fourth young master was confused. The doctor was also confused because otherwise, Xiaoyang actually recovered very quickly. Out of curiosity, the fourth young master asked the doctor. The doctor once said that the stronger the imprint of his martial skill, the more fatal it would be. After hearing the doctor's report, the fourth young master named Hong Yuemoon complimented Xiaoyang that he always exceeded her expectations. Uncertain, the doctor asked what they should do now. Hearing that question, Hong Yuemoon asked when Rin would come. The doctor also reported that Rin would appear at the main shrine around noon. Because it felt weird, wasn't it already 6 since Lin should have come back? Hong Yuemoon was sure that something interesting would happen soon, so he ordered his doctor to keep watching and reporting. In the morning, I trained this body of mine that was so weak before in my room. Looking at the results of today's training, I feel that my body is much better. Previously, I gave everything to bring this shitty body back to normal for the past 3 months. Thanks to that, the remnants of his turbid energy and demonic energy disappeared. After I finished my regular practice, Anghua came and brought me some herbal medicine. While taking the medicine, I felt like I swallowed a blood parasite. From behind me came Jung Il-ryong, who asked if I really thought I could escape from the righteous heavenly alliance. He was furious that he had betrayed him after he tried to make me the best assassin in the world. He threatened that even if I died, I would not be able to escape from the righteous heavenly alliance. I felt like the blood parasite was in my body again. This whole thing really scared me. Hearing Anghua's voice calling me many times, I finally woke up. Anghua worriedly asked if I was okay. I seemed to have been hallucinating. Because his business here was finished, Anghua said goodbye to get out of this room. Looking at the moon that is visible from inside this room makes me think whether I can live freely in the new life that I have always dreamed of. After cleaning myself after practice, I changed into my clothes. While I was changing my clothes, I heard a commotion outside. I thought that maybe another demonic cult bastard had come. It was heard outside that Anghua seemed to be trying to report to me first before letting that person in. But a moment later, the person snapped at him and heard a loud slap. The door to my room opened, and a woman appeared with Anghua with her cheeks looking red. Looking at the woman, I wonder who this person is. Seeing the woman who entered my room, I wondered who this person was. After observing my condition, the woman said that I looked better than she thought. I don't understand what's going on. I need to think of a way to get out of the situation. Seeing me silent, the woman said she wanted to drink a cup of tea. At a time like this, the first thing I should do is try to escape. I also tried to make excuses and leave this room. Seeing me trying to run away, the woman snapped her fingers and then 2 men appeared blocking my path. The woman then ordered the 2 people to stop anyone coming here because she wanted to talk to me. The 2 female underlings came out of this room. The woman asked me to sit down because there was something she wanted to talk about. But I excused that I haven't wiped my sweat after training my body and asked him to wait for a while to change clothes. The woman agrees to wait. He also said it would be better if I had no other plans. Just by looking at her, I could tell that she wasn't normal. I have no other choice. I asked Anghua to follow me. After getting quite far from the woman, I asked her something I needed to ask. Upon hearing my question, Anghua wasn't sure about what I just asked. I asked Anghua who that woman really was. I reasoned that because I just woke up from chi blockage, my head hurts, and there might be a problem with my memory. Anghua, who heard my reason, was worried and asked me not to die. I was confused why he connected my story with death. It hasn't even been that long since I just woke up. Because of my request, Anghua also explained that the woman was Hong Yorin. He is a demon affiliated with and working with the Internal Enlightenment Belief Center. She is the daughter of the Yoksa family, which is a demon sect. She is strong enough to be called the most gifted student, her work is good, and she is the heroine acknowledged by the head of the demon sect. What's more, he is the younger brother of the 4th young master. After hearing Anghua's explanation, I was still confused. I asked Anghua what business he had coming to me, but he doesn't know the details. But the 2 of us see each other several times a month. That means our relationship is not just an ordinary relationship. For telling me, I thank him. Seeing his bruised cheek, I asked if his face was okay. I was worried, then told him to rest. Seeing the kindness of his young master, Anghua thought that maybe Xiaoyang really was going crazy, because the previous Xiaoyang always berate Anghua. After getting the information I needed, I went back to meet Hong Yorin. For being rude earlier, I apologized to him. I then asked what brought him here. Seeing Xiaoyang being gentle, Hong Yorin couldn't believe it. He was completely different from the old 3rd young master. He felt like Xiaoyang had lost the light in his eyes. He didn't expect the rumor that he had lost his martial ability to have recovered from chi blockage was true. Because there is no reason to hide something between us and know this very well. Hong Yorin said that he would just get straight to the point. He then took out 2 papers and said that it was a contract that we both signed. He explained that if one of us broke the contract, or if the situation came to a head where we had to cancel the contract, then the penalty would be tripled. Hong Yorin had invested almost 1,000 Niang in Wonder Drug. In addition, the extra money from other things amounted to a little over 2,000 Niang, but he'll let go of the little things because we're close. I, who did not understand this situation, tried to read the contract. I found out that I was sponsored by money and medicine by 4th young master's sister. I don't know what the owner of this body actually thinks. Hong Yorin came here to collect 6,000 Nanyang right away. But if it's hard, he asks me to write a contract that says when I will pay it to me. Using the excuse that Xiaoyang had chi blockage, Hong Yorin made herself a victim, canceled her contract, and now she wants to take back her money. I want to build my reputation and then increase my wealth. But he ignores the fact that I used to be bedridden. This young girl did something bad that she shouldn't have done. Since I could use that much money, I agreed to her request. Seeing my response, Hong Yorin couldn't believe that I would agree so easily. To write the contract, I asked Hong Yorin to prepare brushes, paper, and ink. It doesn't matter to me if he wants to do bad things. It has nothing to do with me. First of all, I should do as he pleases. After all, I will leave this place eventually. Hong Yorin couldn't believe that someone who became the third young master would write a contract carelessly. Hong Yorin knew that Xiaoyang wasn't bright, but this was too reckless for her. To take advantage of this opportunity, Hong Yorin also added one more thing. He said if I can't pay him back, then I have to always come whenever he calls me like a loyal dog. This little girl is starting to piss me off. Hong Yorin then explained that her contract would end when she received all the money. Until then, Hong Yorin asks to respect each other because we are both fellow contractors. Hearing Hong Yorin talk about honor, I asked her if she wanted me to respect her when I hand over a contract like this. Hong Yorin didn't understand what was going on. I then asked Anghua to come out and call the palace guard commander. Hong Yorin didn't understand why I suddenly summoned the palace guard commander. After a while, the commander of the palace guards finally arrived and saluted me. The commander asked why I suddenly called him. To that commander, I asked him to prepare a carriage since there was a place I had to go to. The commander was a bit hesitant to carry out my order because he was concerned about my body condition. I told him that I was going to meet the demon lord, so I told him to prepare a carriage and convey my words to the demon god's palace. I want him to tell the demon lord that the third disciple wants to see his master. The commander said he understood, and he said he would convey the message to the demon god's palace. When permission is granted, the commander will prepare the chariot. Hong Yorin, who didn't understand what was going on, asked what I was trying to do. I replied that I should fight back. That way we can see if this contract is fair, according to the demon lord. Hong Yorin, who heard my intention, asked if he wanted us to die together right now. He did not understand what I wanted to hear from the demon lord. I asked what the problem was with that. Seeing my relaxed face, Hong Yorin said if the demon lord knows if I make a contract with him, then I won't be safe either. Hong Yorin was right. If the demon lord finds out about this, I will also be affected, and I might be banished due to losing my martial skills. But that would only happen to me. Then, what about Hong Yorin? Everyone in the world knew that Hong Yorin's family was amazing, but that excuse alone wouldn't work. Worst of all for me, I'll just be dumped. But for Hong Yorin, he would not escape prison. For the sin of raising them miserably, of course the Yoksa family will lose everything. After hearing all that, Hong Yorin finally began to realize her big mistake. Because our conversation was over, I said goodbye to him because it's time for me to go for a walk. But Hong Yorin tried to stop me and asked if I didn't want to be the highest minister. Becoming the highest minister with this body sounds so ridiculous. After all, Hong Yorin came here because she already knew that I didn't stand a chance. Because her persuasion failed, Hong Yorin didn't know what else she could do and could only tremble. He asked what he should do, but I played dumb and acted like I didn't understand what he meant. With her face turning red, Hong Yorin asked what she should do. In front of Hong Yorin, I took out our contract and told her to tear it up with her own 2 hands. When I saw the corpses of a mother and her child, I remembered what my friend had said about her wish. I asked my underlings if they had found everyone. They replied that they had searched every nook and cranny, but they had found nothing. The people we're looking for have betrayed the alliance. I'm sure there must still be someone, and ordered them to search the area. When I saw the carving on the dead child's hand, I was shocked. A moment later, there was an uproar and I saw my comrade who was beating all of my underlings. My friend noticed my presence and lunged at me. With his sword, he smashed my blade and wounded my head. He then immediately approached the bodies of the mother and child who had died. Realizing the little boy who had died, my friend started to cry. Seeing my friend sad, I asked him to listen to me that the Alliance had given us the task of killing those who had betrayed the Alliance. The Alliance told us they were the ones who had betrayed them. I tried to tell him I really didn't know. My friend was finally overcome with anger. He asked me if killing was just my job, to take someone's life and kill every day. My friend, who was on the verge of death, asked if I knew anything about life. He was sure that an assassin couldn't possibly not know anything. With his last words, my friend cursed me. Even in the afterlife, my life will be filled with death. In the demon god's palace right now, the commander of the guards was kowtowing to congratulate the demon lord on achieving his great goal. The demon lord, who had just been dressed, then picked up a glass of liquor and drank it. He also asked if it was true that the third disciple wanted to go to meet him. The guard commander reported that he had only sent a carriage to the third young master's residence, then he should be arriving at the palace soon. After hearing the report, the demon lord continuously poured liquor and drank it. He then summoned the commander of the guards and ordered him to bring the third young master to the demonic judgment hall. The guard commander was very surprised to hear that, but after all, the orders of the demon lords are absolute. The guard commander finally received his order and left the room. Upon seeing the guard commander leaving the room, the demon lord yawned widely and asked if winter had yet to come. A doctor is currently checking my pulse at this time. I still felt unaccustomed to the chaotic aura flowing inside when he felt my pulse. After finished checking, the doctor said that the affected veins seemed to have recovered better in the past few days, and not only blood vessels, even though I was assisted by medicine and acupuncture. The doctor thought that my regeneration ability was extraordinary. The doctor, who then saw the look in my eyes, did not understand what was meant by the look in my eyes. Since he realized that he looked impolite, he immediately apologized and reasoned that he was quite surprised at my regeneration ability. The doctor then said that he believed I no longer needed acupuncture to help me recover. Instead, he suggested recovering my strength with nutritious food and high-level recovery potions. Hearing something interesting, out of curiosity, I asked what a high-grade recovery potion was. I've never heard of that before. For some reason, the doctor looked surprised by something. He then replied that high-grade recovery potions were decoctions composed of herbs that were good for helping restore energy. The potion was made by the family's concoctors and only provided to members in the highest positions in the main residence. Hearing the doctor's explanation made me very interested in the potion. Whatever you call it, it's medicine. If the medicine is real, then with it I will recover faster. Because his business was finished, the doctor said goodbye and said that he would be back in 2 days. Because the environment in this place is quite humid, this place makes me sleepy easily. Looking at the scenery outside made me think about what would happen next. Finally, I will meet with the demon lord. I wonder what kind of person he is. There was no one in Congo Murim who wasn't curious about the heavenly demon. It was an obvious fact, because he could very well be the strongest person in the world. Even though he never displayed his strength, he was still considered the strongest person in the world. Meeting the demon lord now would be dangerous for me, as I don't know much about demon sects. I considered being more vigilant. However, looking at Hong Yorin's contract just pissed me off. I don't want to be reborn just to be someone else's loyal dog. Just thinking about Hong Yorin made me even more annoyed. If only Hong Yorin, who is the daughter of the Yoksa family or whatever, never handed me a contract, then I wouldn't be in this kind of trouble. While I was busy in my thoughts, Anghua came to inform me that I got contact from the demon god's palace. He said that the carriage was ready, so Anghua asked to get ready to visit the palace. Since the situation is like this, like it or not, it seems like I have to face it too. The train I was riding finally arrived at my destination. As I got off the carriage, a guard saluted and reported that the demon lord had summoned me to the demonic judgment hall. He asked me to go there with a guide. Seeing the stairs that led to the pavilion left me speechless. This made me curious. Exactly what place was the demonic judgment hall? Elsewhere at the same time, the demon lord was currently enjoying alcohol in his room. After taking a sip of the alcohol, he said that today's alcohol seemed to taste sweeter. Looking at the circumstances around me, I felt certain that this really was the headquarters of the demon sect. In this place, there are so many guards. This reminds me of the time I was trapped in the inescapable formation by the righteous Heavenly Alliance and Steel Blood Fortress. High-level experts surrounded this area completely. This place makes me feel like I'm in a dangerous place. I'm sure if I make one mistake, then I will die. My guide and I finally arrived at our destination. Looking at this place, I felt confused because this place didn't look like a pavilion in the slightest. But I can't look surprised. I have to act like I know everything. Every move I make will be in this demon sect. After opening the stone door that became the entrance to this place, my guide invited me to enter. Since I'm going to meet the demon lord, I need to focus. After passing through that entrance, a feeling of surprise and impression, It's spring inside right now when I'm pretty sure it's winter. I thought that I might be dreaming. I felt sure that this couldn't be real. That means this might just be the illusory formation. There was no way to explain this scene because it was winter outside. Seeing this place reminds me of my dream to retire from Kangho and live in a place with lots of fresh greenery like this. After all, this illusionary technique felt very realistic. When I tried to touch the flowers on the tree, a voice called out to me. I was very surprised to hear that. What's more, I saw a pavilion that shouldn't have been there before. When I saw the pavilion clearly, I saw that someone was there. Seeing that person's figure, my feet moved by themselves, as if I was fascinated with that person. The man in the pavilion was minding his own business and sipping his alcohol. With the first step, there is life. And with the second step, there is death. This is really interesting to me, so this is the Devil's Hall of Judgment that the third one imagined. My basic instincts as an assassin king told me that the pavilion was extremely dangerous. But that doesn't mean I can go back. If I want to get out of the demon sect and live a new life, then I must face the demon lord. After making up my mind, I entered the pavilion. I thought that this might be the time to meet the demon god. The ninth person that heavenly demon called successor, the great ninth heavenly demon, Demon Lord Li Cheongsang. At this time, at the entrance of the demonic punishment pavilion, the commander of the guards asked Seor Yang's guide if the third young master had entered. The guide replied that he had entered. Seeing the guard commander looking strange, he asked if something was bothering him, but the guard commander just ignored him. Realizing that he might have gone too far, he apologized for speaking the wrong way. A moment later, the commander of the guards opened his mouth and told him that, under the demon lord's rule, there were only 2 incidents where outsiders broke into the demonic judgment hall. The first incident happened around 25 years ago when the demon lord got his first apprentice. Hearing the guard commander's story, his subordinate asked if he meant that his first disciple was the first young master. The guard commander replied that the first young master was not the demon lord's first disciple, because the first young master became a demon lord's disciple exactly 20 years ago. His curious underlings asked when he meant there were other students before the first young master. The guard commander replied that it was true, and that unknown disciple appeared in the shadow of death in the demonic judgment hall. Within the shadows, one could see that the unknown student had his skin torn apart as if a wild beast had pounced on him. The subordinate was surprised to hear that story. He asked if it was possible that the demon lord did that. But the commander of the guards said if the demon lord intended to kill him, he wouldn't have brought him here in the first place. Still curious about the story, the underling was then another person who entered this place. The guard commander replied that the person was the strategy general, a person with absolute power who aims for both small and big things, the only man who climbed to the top by using his brains and not by martial arts. He was the second person to enter the demonic judgment hall. The underling wondered if the strategy general came out of the demonic judgment hall alive. The guard commander replied that the strategic general came out with his head held high, and today, the demonic judgment hall has opened its gates for the 3rd time. They were curious whether the third young master would make it back alive. Before the demon lord, I knelt down to pay my respects to him. I saluted the demon lord and reported that I had come to find him. After I saluted him, he told me to get up. Seeing the figure of the person in front of me, I thought so this is the demon lord, Li Cheongsang. He really is different. He was the one who was called the great demon lord and ruler of all. Even though he didn't emit any chi, I could feel the high pride he had. This person was someone who had no reason to be restricted from being one of the 10 strongest martial artists. He was the most powerful martial god in this world. He was so powerful that it was said that he was a demigod and came from a completely different dimension. I even wonder why he didn't try to become a tyrant. I realized that I was really surprised right now just by her appearance. I have to wake up and restore my confidence. After ordering me to get up after paying my respects, the demon lord poured some alcohol into a cup and took it. I took the cup and thanked him. The aroma of the drink smells really good. I wonder how much this luxury alcohol costs. Without thinking, I took a sip of the alcohol he gave me. As I took a swig of alcohol, he asked me why I wanted to see him. The demon lord's face looked very cold. I wonder if the relationship between teacher and student in this region is always rough towards each other. After all, demon lords don't like to talk around the bush. I should not beat around the bush and just tell the truth. In front of the demon lord, I said that I wanted to ask for his help. He also asked what help I meant, even though I want to say it directly, but still I doubt it. I don't understand why I, who used to be one of the 10 strongest martial artists, still hesitates. After making up my mind, I asked if it would be okay for me to leave the sect. After saying that, I realized that I messed up what I wanted to say. I should have said that I wanted to get out for some fresh air. Hearing my request, the demon lord asked if I wanted to leave the cult. Seeing her calm reaction, thinking if maybe telling the truth worked out well. The demon lord then ordered me to pour the alcohol into his cup. I felt that I was going crazy because I couldn't read the expression on her face. I really cannot at all what's on his mind. As I was pouring the alcohol, he said my request was too ambiguous. He asked if the meaning of my request was that I wanted to leave for a while or I wanted to cut ties with this cult. He also asked if I was dissatisfied with my position as a student. I panicked and said that's not what I meant. Still not understanding what I wanted, he asked if I should give up since my body was already injured. He also asked if that was the limit of my abilities. He kept bombarding me with questions. I didn't even have a chance to speak. With a face that looked disappointed, he said that I was very disappointing. Hearing all this, I thought that I was in trouble. Since things have come to this, I'll say anything. I tried to explain that I'm not trying to cut ties. It hasn't been long since I recovered. Besides, I lost my martial art. I really want to strengthen my own heart, and it's not easy. Thus, I thought it would be fine if I got some fresh air and came to make that wish. I thought that my reasoning sounded reasonable, but the demon lord then slammed his cup of alcohol down and asked if I came to see him just to ask permission to leave. This is really a big problem. I think too simply. If you think about it, my excuse for meeting with the demon lord just to get permission to leave sounds really ridiculous. After pouring the alcohol back into his cup, the demon lord asked what else I wanted. This isn't the time for me to think about anything else. In a panic, I had to hurry up and think of something to say. To the demon lord, I said that I also wanted to meet my master since it had been a long time. Hearing my answer, the demon lord fell silent. I thought that this answer didn't sound bad. I continued saying that even though my body was in this state, there were still the tudas as a disciple that had to be performed. I can't repay the hundreds of kindness he gave me, but I still can't give him gratitude. The best way right now for me is to calm the emotions of the demon lord. After hearing my reasoning, his alcohol cup suddenly turned to dust. The demon lord then asked if I had just mentioned the duties of a disciple. I don't understand what's going on. He was standing in front of me. When I saw the demon lord standing up, he looked really big. The demon lord then said that if I understand the duties of a disciple, I shouldn't appear in front of him with a body like this. He asked if he had seen me in a different light. Hearing the demon lord's words and the look in the eyes of the demon lord, I thought that maybe he might not be the one in this body. The look in his eyes was as if he was looking me straight into my soul. I'm not sure what excuse I should use this time, but unexpectedly, the demon lord turned his back on me. I thought that maybe I didn't get caught. I felt a little irritated by what he said, but that disciple was suffering from chi blockage and had come here as soon as he recovered to pay his respects, and he said that I didn't know my duty. I don't know if I'm the weird one or if there's something I'm missing. The demon lord who was observing the scenery under the pavilion then said that he will send someone in 3 days, so I can go now. I'm confused too. I don't know what happened to my request. I don't know if I was allowed to leave or not. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do whatever I want. But he didn't tell anything. This is really annoying. After Soryang left, the demon lord who was enjoying the view told himself that it had been a long time since he had last seen the sight of the Devil's Judgment Hall with the clear sky and green grass. In his throne room, the demon lord was currently pouring alcohol into the cup that the guard commander was holding. He said that this was his reward for his hard work. The guard commander felt honored and drank the cup of alcohol. After pouring alcohol for the guard commander, The demon lord approached his pet cage and asked the guard commander what happened to the three this time. He replied that the third young master had only been recuperating in his manor all along. While playing with his pet, the demon lord said that 10 years ago he thought he had picked up an emoji, and he was disappointed to find that it was just a venomous snake. But when he saw his disciple again today, he had a magic pearl in his mouth. Instead of distancing himself from evil, he also understands death. The guard commander who heard that was shocked. The demonic punishment pavilion is the pavilion where crimes are judged. The subject to be judged will be brought by the religious leader, and the judgment will be made by the demon lord and his formation. The hall of demonic judgment embodies the hearts of those who enter the place and uncovers their current state and their subconscious. And if a person who is disliked by the demon lord, at that time the demonic formation of the demonic judgment hall attacks the subject according to the demon lord's will. As soon as these subjects harbored any intent to kill, they would be brutally annihilated. A formation technique to know one's heart. This formation was a formation of the highest level that only a demon lord could use. The boss asks the guard commander if the old bamboo forest is being managed properly. The guard commander replied that the place was well managed by sending a star from Hobyogwan every 2 days to take care of it. On average, there are 5 victims per month, but fortunately there have been no fatalities in the last 4 months. Hearing that report, the demon lord ordered to temporarily withdraw the staff from Hobyogwan, as he would be sending the third disciple to the solitary bamboo grove. The commander of the guards was surprised by his order. The demon lord said that it was the perfect place to get some fresh air. I, who was currently in the middle of the forest, thought that the demon lord really was a perverted bastard. I asked permission to go outside for some fresh air, but somehow he sent me to a place in the middle of nowhere like this. I don't understand what I did wrong for him to send me to such an unpleasant place alone. In the middle of that bamboo wilderness, I could only scream to curse the demon lord. I don't understand how this wilderness could be such a perfect place to get some fresh air. To vent my anger, I addressed the demon lord with various insults like jerk or bastard. But just as I was venting my frustration, someone came up from behind me and said that what I said was quite dangerous. He warned that any foul or abusive language towards the boss would be considered a serious offense and could carry the death penalty. There were no exceptions to the rule, even for young ladies and gentlemen. Hearing her explanation, I reasoned that she didn't listen well because I didn't say harsh words to the demon lord. Hearing my nonsense, he innocently believed me and apologized for the misunderstanding. Inside, I could only grumble. Was the demon lord a royalty that I couldn't talk dirty behind his back? I guess for this dark and ominous demon cult it ranks above the emperor. Apart from being loyal, they see him as a true god. Out of curiosity as to his identity, I asked if he was from the Palace of the Elders. The man saluted and then introduced himself as Ma Dongpil, the third elder of the heavenly demon divine cult's palace elders. He said it was a great honor for him to serve me as a bodyguard. I didn't expect that I would get a personal bodyguard. I don't care about his honor, but I want him to go away from me. Ma Dongpil, with his face burning with passion, swore to Mara that he would serve as my bodyguard and protect me with his life. Seeing his very serious face, I can only ask you not to swear anything at me. With my lifeless voice, I praise the scene before me. After searching all night, I finally found one result. I can't get out of this place. No matter how hard I try, I can't leave this place. My current situation is so sad that it makes me cry. Because I was so annoyed, I banged my head against a bamboo tree to let out my frustration. I really don't understand why he needed to kick me out to a place like this. Since it looks like it won't be easy getting out of this place, I better not spend any more time on useless thoughts. The reason why I originally wanted to leave the demon cult was because I had a bad feeling when I found out I had been reincarnated as the heavenly demon divine cult's third young master. I have to leave this place one day, but that's pretty much impossible right now. For a time, the reality was that I had no choice but to live as the demon cult's third young master, Xiaoyang. However, in order to survive in this body, I need strength. I must get stronger. The heavenly demon divine cult truly upholds the ideology of survival of the strongest more than all other groups in Murim. This isn't a place where I can just passively wait to be annihilated and kicked out of here. In the end, I had to take the path of martial arts no matter if it would cost me my life or death. I am determined not to use petty tricks anymore, and I will use my strength to be able to walk with my head held high. While I was deep in thought, Ma Dongpil startled me from behind. He came to tell me that my food was ready and asked me to come in. Due to Ma Dongpil's habit of showing up behind me, I complained to him to stop scaring me. Besides, I told him not to bother me. But Ma Dongpil is worried because it's been 2 days since we got here, and I haven't drank a sip of water, let alone eaten anything. He said he was worried about my health. I was surprised to hear that 2 days had already passed. He was worried about me, but his face looked uncomfortable. I told him to take care of himself. He then respectfully says that he understands. Ma Dongpil seemed to be an inflexible person. I wonder if everyone in the demon cult is all like this. 3 days had passed after entering the solitary bamboo grove. To take advantage of this free time, I meditate. First, I will use the boundless technique to rectify my body and soul. While meditating, I felt something was wrong. The chi circulation of the boundless technique felt different from usual. I feel that my current cultivation level is at the strength of the 3rd stage. Boundless techniques could be separated into 5 strength stages. In my previous life as an assassin king, I reached the peak of the 4th stage. But this weak body, even with chi blockage, was at peak 3rd stage strength, and on the verge of advancing to 4th stage. It's possible, if this Seoryang boy is a genius. On top of that, the purification technique was automatically activated. The purification technique purifies the air by taking the surrounding turbid chi into the body. The surrounding air is purified and absorbs the turbid chi to become part of one's internalized strength with the ability to suppress boundless techniques. As the air around the area became purified, the efficiency of power internalization multiplied, which in turn accelerated my progress. In this state, I would soon be able to return to my former strength quicker than I thought. Because of that, I focused on meditating further. 5 days had finally passed after entering the solitary bamboo grove. I'm so excited because my body has fully recovered. The blood pathways are tattered, and the vital organs become much healthier than the physical age of this body. Thanks to that, living in a solitary bamboo grove was much easier than expected. Even my hair color is getting darker. I heard that your hair will lose its color when your chi is blocked. What's more, I eat well. Ma Dongpil unexpectedly could make delicious dishes. I also slept well in this place. I was even able to use the abilities I had in my previous life as an assassin. When I was a king assassin, I got an ability called hypersensation. Hypersensation is an ability awakened naturally from frequent encounters with death, as well as experience I've accumulated from surviving as an assassin. And the martial art that strengthens hypersensation is the Heavenly Net 6-power technique. The technique's first form was omniscient sight. This technique was a martial art that rapidly raised one's 5 senses to an extreme level, surpassing that of any beast. Without turning my head, I could clearly feel the surroundings. But I'm starting to hate myself for adapting so well to a place like this. While I was talking to myself, Ma Dongpil, as usual, called me from behind and scared me. He came to tell me that the food was ready and asked me to come inside. Out of frustration, I challenged him to see who would win in the end if he continued to act like this. I'm sure this son of a bitch is playing dumb so he can keep on messing with me. Since the demonic monsters will become active at sunset, Mob 3 asked me to come back. I have finally established the foundation I need to practice martial arts properly. If I were to incorporate the experience and knowledge I gained as an assassin king into this gifted body, I'm sure I'd become strong again soon. While on our way home, Ma Dongpil saw something suspicious among the bamboo tree forest. Seeing the flying light, he thought that he might just witness a ghost. Thanks to the boundless technique, I have recovered to a certain extent. Feeling the power overflowing from my body, I wonder if I can fly or not. I also jumping between the trees of this bamboo forest. My 2 martial skills have finally returned. The boundless technique to refine my body and the Heavenly Net 6-power technique to increase my hypersense. The only thing that remained was the dark shadow chi that was created by combining the hidden elite skills of the 10 great sects. These 3 martial skills were the basis of the martial arts that made me the legendary assassin king, Chun Hajin. With all this, I can become strong again in no time. But I realized something. I don't know if I'm allowed to learn Dark Shadow Chi. This is the Heavenly Demon Divine Cult, and I'm the 3rd young master of Mc3, not Chun Hajin. I'm sure there's a demonic art he originally learned. After returning to my current residence, I called Ma Dongpil because I had something I wanted to ask. As usual, Ma Dongpil appeared from an unexpected place and surprised me. I told him there was something I wanted to ask him. I asked between my brother and I, is there anyone who hasn't mastered demonic arts, or anyone who studied martial arts that weren't demonic arts? Hearing my question, Ma Dongpil looked very confused. After a few moments of silence to process what he was muttering, Ma Dongpil lowered his head and apologized for failing to understand my question. I didn't expect my question to be something that couldn't be imagined. So like I said, I asked Ma Dongpil what would happen if I didn't learn the demonic arts. Ma Dongpil wasn't sure if it was possible, but if there was a young master and miss who didn't learn the demonic arts, he boldly said that the demon lord wouldn't be happy about it. Hearing that, I made up my mind. I then ordered Ma Dongpil to go to the library immediately. With my authority as the 3rd young master, I ordered him to bring back all the secret texts he could borrow on the subject of the demonic arts. After returning to the demon god palace, Ma Dongpil reported to the commander of the guards what the 3rd young master had requested. Hearing his report, the guard commander didn't understand why the 3rd young master wanted to see all the secret texts of the demonic arts, since he should know all of them. Having decided on something, Ma Dongpil made up his mind. Ma Dongpil apologized in advance because he was about to ask a rude question. But being guards, they had to know about the targets they were assigned to protect. Therefore, Ma Dongpil dared to ask this even if it was impolite. He asked the commander of the guards if 3rd young master had lost his memory after he suffered from chi blockage. Hearing that question, the guard commander felt unconvinced. He didn't know if he had lost his memory or not. He thought that the 3rd young master was very talented from the start, but arrogant and greedy, a true tyrant who didn't have the slightest consideration for his subordinates. But ever since he recovered from the chi blockage, he seemed like a completely different person. Even hearing the testimony of his servant, he said that he had changed from before. He even made it out alive from the Demon Lord examination grounds in the Demonic Judgment Pavilion. The commander of the guards understood why he was asking such a question. He told the commander of the guards not to worry too much about it. The guard commander explained that the person Ma Dongpil currently serves is not just anyone, but one of the 7 candidates who will become the successor of the demon cult in the future. No one knew if 3rd young master was just joking or had truly lost his memory. Because of that, the commander of the guard asked not to ask anything more. This was one of the many reasons why protecting successors was so difficult. That's why the commander of the guards chose Ma Dongpil specifically for that role. The guard commander took out a key from his pocket and handed it to Ma Dongpil. Ma Dongpil, who saw the key in his hand, recognized what it was. The guard commander told the guard commander that as he knew, the borrowing period was 3 days. He ordered to mix it with other texts and take about 3 or 4 secret texts. Sensing that his conversation was over, the guard commander intended to leave, but he remembered one last thing. The guard commander asked if Ma Dongpil had given the young master an explanation about the solitary bamboo clump. Ma Dongpil replied that he was planning on doing it today. The guard commander warned back how dangerous the bamboo grove was to Ma Dongpil. He was sure that Ma Dongpil would be fine, but he ordered Ma Dongpil to make sure he explained everything properly to the 3rd young master as soon as possible. The guard commander reminded Ma Dongpil that his job was very important, and told him to make sure he served him to the best of his ability. The guard commander was really curious what the demon lord saw in the 3rd young master, so he sent him to the solitary bamboo grove. The solitary bamboo grove was a demonic forest that existed before the heavenly demon divine cult settled on the 100,000 mountain. This forest was the culprit that took the lives of countless demon humans over 1,000 years. When only the absolute strength of the first heavenly demon existed, and the divine cult didn't have any great power, it helped the cult become one of the great sects in a short period of time. This forest provides the greatest gift to those who are destined, and drag those who are not destined to the pit of death. The guard commander thought that this was the second time the demon lord had given the third young master a test. He received a passing grade in the demonic judgment pavilion. The commander of the guards was curious what would happen in the solitary bamboo grove. Looking at the textbooks Ma Dongpil brought, I was surprised that there were so many of them. But Ma Dongpil said that it wasn't much because he only brought the best. I doubt if I really have to master the demonic arts now. If I consider the demonic arts to be inferior to the heavenly arts, I won't be able to see their true nature. I have to see it without bias. As I was about to start reading, Ma Dongpil told me that outside of 7, 3 of them had to be returned within 3 days. Out of curiosity, I asked why. He answered because these 3 texts are the top 10 secret texts of the demonic arts in our school. Furthermore, those texts could only be accessed by the first, second, and third young masters. Ma Dongpil thought that the 10 greatest demonic arts were the highest level demonic arts in the heavenly demon divine cult. If you manage to learn even one from it, then you can because it's some sort of masterpiece. This was a demonic art that everyone in the divine cult knew about, so if he didn't remember this. Realizing that Ma Dongpil was watching me, I asked if something was wrong. Realizing his mistake, Ma Dongpil apologized for his disrespect because he was seeing a new side of his master. But out of curiosity, he asked me if I really didn't remember any of these secret texts. Answering Ma Dongpil's question, I said that as he knows, I lost my martial prowess completely after waking up from chi blockage. My mind and heart are not the same as before. And technically speaking, Ma Dongpil and I have been exiled to the solitary bamboo grove. I have to try something because I'm desperate. I have to relearn all the demonic arts that I had forgotten. That's why I asked Ma Dongpil for help. He is my only hope now, since I needed to warm up. I asked Ma Dongpil to fetch some weapons from the cult tomorrow morning. Hearing my request, somehow he cried. But then, with his face burning with passion, Ma Dongpil said that he would support me with his life. I really don't know what's going on in Ma Dongpil's mind. I feel so burdened. Under the bright moonlight, Ma Dongpil was currently checking his surroundings. Looking at the beasts outside the barricade, he thought that they would start to become more active in about 10 days. They didn't seem to be moving, and the barricades were gone, so Ma Dongpil was confident that tonight would be fine. Moreover, this is the safest area in the solitary bamboo grove. Seeing that his young master was concentrating on reading the secret text, Ma Dongpil made up his mind to make sure nothing happened to disturb his concentration. Then again, he had to bring back the weapon young master requested as soon as possible. Because of that, he thought that he couldn't let his guard down no matter what. Chun Hajin's dark shadow chi might not have been widely practiced, but it was the greatest technique in Murim. It wasn't as powerful as the 10 great sects' secret techniques, but the depth and purity of the technique was considered the best of its time. But demonic arts are different. Demonic arts prioritize destruction over purity. They focus on results over stability, offense over defense, and true strength over flexibility. It's all very similar to the Assassin method. After reading all the secret texts that Ma Dongpil brought me, I feel that this kind of martial art is really extraordinary. I won't be able to master the 10 greatest demonic arts with my current self. I wonder what I can do to strengthen Dark Shadow Chi using 10 great demonic arts. While I was looking through the text, I found something interesting. I have a feeling that this might work, but in fact, I did not understand the contents of the text at all. Feeling stuck right now, I decided to awaken my senses first. I also started meditating in the yard. The boundless technique is the best technique when you have too many thoughts. While meditating, I felt a presence approaching. I thought it was possible that Ma Dongpil had already returned. I have to be more careful. Even though she may appear naive, she had previously let her guard down on me. I won't let him surprise me again. Feeling that today's meditation had been enough, I decided to go back inside. When I heard the sound of something arriving, I thought that Ma Dongpil had returned. I'm not sure what I'm looking at right now, but what greeted me next was an attack. I also dodged the attack. The missed attack destroyed the wall surrounding this house. Seeing the wall-destroying creature destroying the wall, I felt confused, because the creature in front of me is a 3-headed chicken. 6 legs with wings the size of a person, and 3 heads. I was shocked to see it. The chicken looks like the mutant of the great King Yan Luo. What was even more shocking, not only was the chicken big, but he was also fast. The chicken attacked using its claws. I dodged by a hair's breadth, but he manages to ruin my clothes. The cock flew and then crowed loudly. Ma Dongpil finally finished collecting various weapons according to his young master's request. Seeing the amount he brought, he felt that this was enough. Since the 3rd young master used to wield a sword, Ma Dongpil thought that as a swordsman, the 3rd young master should be quite skilled and create his own style. Ma Dongpil also thought it was possible that the 3rd young master would regain his memory once he got hold of the weapon. But judging by how cruel he had been, Ma Dongpil couldn't believe that he was very interested in regaining his young master's memories. He only hoped that the 3rd young master would not bully him once he regained his memory. On second thought, Ma Dongpil thought that he should not think about it. He was only 3rd young master's bodyguard. He shouldn't get emotionally involved. As Ma Dongpil started to approach his destination, he also smelled a strong smell of blood. Looking at his destination, Ma Dongpil was also worried for his young master. Because the chicken was so noisy, I tried to hit it with my right hand, but my attack was caught by the chicken leg. Because it managed to catch my hand, the cock was crowing loudly. Annoyed, I used my free left hand and hit one of the chickens on the head, and they finally let go of my right hand. The other 2 chicken heads looked worried about the injured chicken heads. The head of the wounded cock was angry and crowed. With his art of sound, he attacks me with air pressure. I don't understand what kind of chicken uses sound art. That chicken was definitely not an ordinary mutant chicken. This will be difficult, especially without weapons. I looked around me to find something I could use as a weapon. Looking at the bamboo lying on the ground, I thought that it was suitable for making weapons. The chickens came back to lunge at me like before. Of course, it won't be easy to catch me using the same attack. I dodged and took the bamboo that I saw earlier. After getting the weapon, I jumped at the chicken and stabbed it using the bamboo I used as a spear. The cock crowed in pain. The chicken finally stopped moving. Looking at my broken bamboo spear, I'm not sure if the chicken is dead. Suddenly, the head of the chicken looked at me. The chicken counterattacked and threw me into the bamboo wall. I finally understand now. I won't be able to penetrate a feather with physical strength alone. I stood back up and saw the chicken getting ready to lunge again. I never thought I would use this on an animal, but I have no other choice. After I got ready, I challenged the chicken to come forward. In the face of the chicken that was lunging at me, I used the Heavenly Net 6 power technique, the 2nd form of hypervision. The 2nd form of the Heavenly Net 6 power technique, hypervision, makes one's thought processes speed up exponentially by using up one's chi and slows down those around it within line of sight. I easily dodged the chicken's charge and found its weakness. I stabbed his weakness with my bamboo spear. Ma Dongpil, who saw the state of the house, was very panicked and looked for his young master's whereabouts. Seeing Ma Dongpil looking for me, I called out to him. Seeing me covered in blood, a worried Ma Dongpil asked if I was okay. I told him there was nothing to fuss about. Seeing a dead chicken near me, he was surprised and asked if that wasn't Azura Lotus. So that's the chicken's name, I thought. Ma Dongpil, who was still worried, said that we should take care of my wound, but I said that this blood is not mine. Ma Dongpil finally realized that, apart from a few abrasions, the young master was fine. Azura Lotus is a creature that is as dangerous as a leopard. The curious Ma Dongpil asked if I defeated him myself. There was no one else here besides me, so the answer was obvious. Seeing this chicken corpse, I asked if we have a pot. Ma Dongpil replied that he had one, but he wasn't sure what I wanted to use it for. I told him to put water and bamboo shoots in it and let it boil because I will be making dinner today. Ma Dongpil didn't understand my request. While my conversation with him had not finished, I pointed my bamboo spear at Ma Dongpil and asked for an explanation. How did he know about this chicken? I asked for an explanation of what kind of place this solitary bamboo grove was and all that stuff. As per my request, Ma Dongpil explained that the solitary bamboo clump existed before the heavenly demon divine cult was formed. This place was a natural demonic forest, with the densest spiritual chi of any famous mountain. There is something very special about this forest. His spiritual chi density did not spread throughout the area, but only circulated within the bamboo forest. Thus, the spiritual chi in the bamboo forest only became more and more concentrated over time. Thanks to the concentration of spiritual chi, the relationship between the wood chi and the earth chi was also strengthened, making the bamboo trees here extremely thick and strong. But I think that they seem to have a short lifespan. Ma Dongpil, who was heating the fire to boil, again explained that the bamboo shoots here grew exponentially faster than other bamboo shoots. That's how the forest is maintained. Also, aside from being thicker and stronger, some trees also had strange powers. Out of curiosity, I asked if the tree could be a valuable medicinal herb or something. Ma Dongpil answered more precisely that they could be used as poison or elixir. Because the spiritual chi within them is so dense, they have to be processed dozens of times before they can be endured by the human body. More than half of the demonic elixir the cult made was made from bamboo trees, harvested from solitary bamboo clumps. Hearing Ma Dongpil's explanation, I asked if that meant we could mass-produce elixirs. Ma Dongpil replied that it was impossible, because most of the trees that have medicinal value grow deep in the forest. The problem was the spiritual beasts that were there. I also asked what he meant as a beast, like the chicken we are currently cooking. He replied that I was right, and Azure Lotus was the weakest beast among them. Hearing that, I didn't expect that there was something much stronger than that bastard chicken. Ma Dongpil again explained that Azure Lotus was the weakest species in the forest, and furthermore, some mid-level beasts were confirmed to be as powerful as peak cultivation level masters. Because of that, they stopped by the forest twice a year to harvest the divine bamboo together with the first guardian and other high-level executives. The deepest part of the solitary bamboo clump was dangerous even for them, and also, the city park of bamboo is considered as the safest place in the solitary bamboo clump. Ma Dongpil didn't expect that it was time for Azure Lotus to wander around. That's why Ma Dongpil apologized for not being able to protect me due to his arrogance. Hearing his apology, I said that not only did he build walls around the bamboo city garden, but he also set up an octagonal wall formation outside. He had already done more than enough to fulfill his responsibilities as a guard, so I told him not to think about it too much. Ma Dongpil still seemed to have not forgiven himself. I told him to stop talking about this and start to eat as the food was cooked to perfection. Ma Dongpil, who saw the bowl filled with chicken monster meat, wondered if this could be eaten. Seeing Ma Dongpil hesitating, I asked him if he couldn't eat this kind of food. Contrary to his appearance, I think he has a weak stomach. I said that this soup might not be up to par with spiritual bamboo shoots, but it's still some kind of elixir. After quickly finishing the soup, Ma Dongpil asked for another bowl. He seems to like the food. After hearing Ma Dongpil's explanation, I realized that this place was that dangerous. I didn't expect that Demon Lord Li Qiangsang would send me to a place like this. I need to master the demonic arts as soon as possible. After seeing the octagonal wall formation outside, I said to Ma Dongpil that it was really well built. Even though it was built using anomalous measurements, it works fine. Ma Dongpil, who heard what I said, was flattered that I praised his work. But I'm not trying to compliment him because I can see it there. The curious Ma Dongpil changed the subject and asked if I had studied formations before. I replied to Ma Dongpil, who was curious that I learned it by chance. I'm not even sure when I learned that. Ma Dongpil, who heard that, was also impressed. Formation is a different lesson from martial arts. It wasn't something one could pretend to know just by reading it. Ma Dongpil was also curious about the young master in front of him at this time. The more he got to know her, the more he questioned her. He finished reading more than 10 secret texts of the demonic arts in just 3 days. and he defeated Azure Lotus easily, even though he hadn't fully recovered yet. Ma Dongpil thought that the third young master might appear light-hearted and airless, but when he was serious, he gave off an aura that was difficult to approach. Furthermore, even though he had lost his martial arts skills due to chi blockage, he didn't look frustrated. Ma Dongpil was sure that there must be something he didn't know about. In my free time, I've decided to master the demonic arts, but I can't rush into learning demonic arts since it's my first time. If I get strong in the shortest amount of time, I can't give up the Dark Shadow Chi, the most familiar to me. Dark Shadow Chi is a new martial art that hasn't passed a generation that I created by compiling the secret techniques of the 10 great sects during my time as an assassin king. On the other hand, true demonic arts are the foundation of all demonic arts. Based on how I learn it, my character traits and chi quality will vary. I thought, what if I could make up for the insufficient foundation for my Dark Shadow Chi with true demonic arts? If you spill a drop of ink into clean water, the whole bowl will be contaminated. Demonic arts are like ink, especially true demonic arts, which were akin to being the parents of all demonic studies cultivated by the heavenly demon divine cult. To mature a young martial arts skill of the Dark Shadow Chi that was less than a generation old, nothing was more suitable. To have come to the heavenly demon divine cult with Dark Shadow Chi was probably fate. True demonic arts and Dark Shadow Chi. Let's see if the basic demonic arts and secret techniques of the 10 great sects can be combined together. Ma Dongpil, who was currently cleaning the garden of the city of Bamboo, was worried because it had been 12 days since his young master had locked himself in the room. Since his young master told him not to disturb him no matter what, Ma Dongpil couldn't help but wonder what he was doing inside. I'm currently meditating in my room. They say that opposites attract each other. This newly created martial art was more destructive than Dark Shadow Chi and would transform into a more stable art than true demonic arts. My meditation is finally over. I could feel demonic energy rushing through my body for the first time. It's a new martial skill that I didn't have before. Even Ma Dongpil, who was outside the building, could feel the flow of demonic energy that I was emitting. This martial art I will call the Dark Shadow Demonic Art. In the middle of the solitary bamboo grove, a huge monkey lunged at Ma Dongpil to attack him, but Ma Dongpil with his sword slashed at the monkey. Ma Dongpil, who was exhausted, said that earlier could have been dangerous. He thought it was too dangerous to continue going inside. Moreover, he already had no energy left in his legs. Ma Dongpil suggested we retreat back to the Bamboo City Garden for today. When I saw the corpses of the monkeys we defeated, I felt strange. From what I heard about the beast called Xing Xing, they live in herds. However, the 3 Xing Xings that attacked us were too few to be called a herd. As if to answer my suspicions, a voice approached. Ma Dongpil, who noticed the sound, also saw the Xing Xing herd that had started to appear. Because there were too many of them, Ma Dongpil asked me to step down, but I told him not to worry. I thought that Ma Dongpil was right. My internal chi had long ago reached its limit as I fought beasts all day long, but there was no time to waste. I had to perfect my stone martial arts to get out of here, pushing myself to my limit. I must get stronger. In front of the Xing Xing herd that's charging, I prepared to use the Dark Shadow Demonic Art. In the demon god's palace, the demon lord who received the report asked the commander of the guards that the 3rd young master was hunting the Azure Lotus and Xing Xing herds in the solitary bamboo grove. After hearing that the report was true, the demon lord thought that this was very interesting for him. He said that if the 3rd young master overpowered the black dragon, then it would be difficult for him to escape from the beast's terrifying cries. The commander of the guards was surprised to hear that. The demon lord then said that the blood flame was too sharp and the capturing heavens was too heavy. The 2 arts were no match for the 3rd young master. The red phoenix would probably be better off, but if he had good eyesight, he wouldn't be good at it either. The demon lord asked to confirm if he was the 3 secret texts of the demonic arts. The guard commander replied that it was true that he had given the blood flame, capturing heavens, and red phoenix to the 3rd young master. The demon lord thought it would be difficult to handle the red phoenix in his current 3rd young master's state, because it would become poison to the body after suffering from chi blockage. The Demon Lord also asked if the commander of the guards gave him another demonic arts secret text from the secret library. Hearing the question, the commander of the guards prostrated himself in apology for having accessed the secret library without his permission. He asked the Demon Lord to kill him as punishment. The Demon Lord ordered him to stand up and said that he had the authority to access the secret library. But the guard commander still felt guilty that he didn't report to his master. The Demon Lord asked him if he regretted giving the third young master access to the secret library. The guard commander resolutely replied that he did not regret it. He will also take full responsibility for the third young master when asked by the Demon Lord. Hearing the answer from the commander of the guards, the Demon Lord decided that he would respect his decision.